Jay Jamison. CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
For DeMeco Ryans and the Houston Texans, if the season ended today, they would be in the playoffs, which is an amazing turnaround from where they were last year. In fact, it's the most wins at this point in the season for the Texans since 2019. Taking on Jonathan Gannon, another first-year coach. He was the defensive coordinator last year for the Philadelphia Eagles. He understands it's just 2 wins, but there's a lot to accomplish for the rest of the season because they're getting healthier leading into the offseason.
Yeah, they've been building this entire season for Kyler Murray's return and then building for the future. They knew going into this season they had to have an answer on Kyler Murray before the draft, this next draft comes up, and he certainly gave him a positive answer last week. Looked really good. A new system, but looked pretty comfortable. And you saw the explosion after the ACL tear that everyone wanted to see.
All right, so the Texans won the toss. They deferred, so the Cardinals will get the football to start today's ball game. Greg Dortch is back deep to receive. Matt Amendola, who had the game-winning kick last week, was lifted again to the active roster today. And he'll be kicking off for the Texans, wearing the red helmets, the blue jerseys, the blue pants for the first time in franchise history. And we are underway from Houston.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Love that chicken from Popeyes. United Airlines. Good leads the way. And by FanDuel. Make every moment more. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL. And by FedEx, where now meets next.
50 different military members and first responders got a chance to enjoy some lunch on the Texans earlier this week. Cheerleaders were here. You saw DeMeco Ryans. A lot of the players were there as well after practice. They signed some autographs. Pretty cool moment. All right, so C.J. Stroud goes through a lot of Dak Prescott stuff before games to get ready.
He does an entire routine on different things. I remember being with Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers, and they talked about throwing with every fiber of your body. So from your big toe all the way up to the top of your head. So getting all those elements involved in it, it's not just not being an arm thrower, but using your body to be quick with the ball, get it out of your hands.
Let's check in with JB and Boomer for an update.
When it comes to Tyreek Hill, don't blink.
Wow, Tom, James, Jay, look at this. Tyreek Hill going to catch this ball, come flying out of the pack. Wow, 38 yards from Tua, Miami 7, Oakland 3.
Back to Tom.
Shanahan and all those guys that we've seen have so much success, but he's done an excellent job, James, really building plays and building design, layering designs, and just so impressive with what he's done so far.
And you've got to design it around what you have, and he has a lot of uniquely talented guys.
Salute to service continues in the National Football League, and also with the antics going on during timeouts here.
That looked like you last night running to get us burgers before the production meeting.
Can never have enough burgers. 5-yard line. All right, guys, let's put you to the test here. Who do you think your MVP candidates are?
Well, for me, I said it earlier, Tyreek Hill, I think, is the leader. It normally goes to a quarterback, but the way that he changes that offense in Miami, C.J. Stroud, I think, has definitely brought himself into the conversation, and Patrick Mahomes, obviously, is always there.
I love what you said about the receivers, but we never get the credit we deserve. C.J. Stroud, Tua with the touchdown passes. Lamar Jackson, because of his ability to run and the way that he dominates a run game with those Baltimore Ravens. But really, I'm looking at Roquan Smith, the linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens.
Throwing a curveball in there to that one. All right, so some notes about the MVP since we brought it up, and a lot of people have talked about it. Only Jim Brown was a rookie to win an MVP, 1957. But beyond that, only 14 rookies have ever received an MVP vote.
You know, I'm surprised because my rookie year, Earl Campbell dominated the game in 1978 that he didn't get an MVP vote.
Last rookie quarterback to get an MVP vote was Dan Marino, my guy, in '83. And
he had a decent career.
Yard line. Well, this is the reason there's excitement. It's because of the playoff picture. I mean, right now they're in, and they're putting, they're trying to put an exclamation point on that position with not only today's game, but 3 straight home games here in Houston, too.
They play Jacksonville next week. If they win this game and they beat Jacksonville, they're in first place. And when you look at the rest of that schedule, only 2 teams with winning records, Jacksonville and Cleveland, the whole rest of the way. That's why I said it sets up for them to really have a good finish to this season.
And I think D'Amico's experience with the 49ers the last couple of years, what can you do to get better today?
It incomplete.
Great job batting it down as opposed to trying to catch it defensively.
And that is the end of the first half. And the Texans will go into the locker room on top, 21-10. C.J. Stroud, 18 for 24, 259 yards. Singletary, meanwhile, 84 yards on the ground. Kyler Murray's done this before. Early in his career, he certainly has enough arm strength. But the ball is deflected right at the goal line. Cashman got the first hand on it. And there's a lot of good that you could take into the locker room if you're the Texans. They lead at 21-10. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
Back here on the Verizon Halftime Report, coming up, second half games in our doubleheader. The big one, the Jets at the Bills.
Yeah, talk about bounce back weekend. Big game for the Jets and the Bills. The Bills, 3 out of 4 last games they've lost. And for the Jets, they've gone 11 quarters without scoring a touchdown. And remember, back in week 1, Buffalo lost to them in overtime. So big game. And then you look at the Seattle Seahawks going to the LA Rams. Matthew Stafford is playing today. So he is 3-0 against the Seattle Seahawks. They're 3-6. Big game for Seattle to try to keep this going.
Nice looking doubleheader coming up later today right here on CBS, and the Verizon Halftime Report continues.
CBS Sports presents the Verizon Halftime Report.
And welcome back to our New York studio and the Verizon Halftime Report. It is the official 5G network of the NFL. Back here in Studio 43 with my colleagues and the highlights.
In the AFC North matchup, Pittsburgh got Cleveland, and it was Cleveland that struck first right here. Jerome Ford trying it from 1 yard out. He was called short, but replay, you can see right here, he will determine if he broke the plane right there. Touchdown Cleveland. They lead 10-0 at the half.
Arizona Cardinals at the Houston Texans. Devin Singletary takes the handoff right up the middle. Nice cut. It goes for the 11-yard touchdown. Put Houston up 14-10. Then, who else? The outstanding rookie, C.J. Stroud. Buys some time. Buys Tank Dell down the field for the 40-yard touchdown. It put the Texans up 21-10 over Arizona.
All right, 3-6. Titans at the 6-3 Jags. And I'll tell you what, the Jags are laying a beating on this Titans offense. Trevor Lawrence, 12-17, 117 yards. That TD right there to Calvin Ridley. They lead 13-0 at half.
All right, the Raiders at the Dolphins. All right, you got the rookie, Aiden O'Connell. Who is he looking for? His #1 wide receiver. On the other end of this throw is Devontae Adams. 3 guys over there. He gets past all of them. That's a 46-yard TD. Second quarter, Tua Tagovailoa. He's going to drop this one off. A little angle route by Savon Ahmed. He gets in for the 11-yard touchdown. Dolphins up 14-13 in this one.
The Chargers at Green Bay, and Justin Herbert's going to go back, and he's going to have some time. He's going to scan the field. Smart decision. Throw it to Stone Smart. That's what you do.
Oh.
And he's going to make a guy miss, go 51 yards for the touchdown. Jordan Love, good first half, 10-10 at the half.
I see what you did there. Smart decision. Okay, NFC North matchup. We have the Bears, the Lions. We're going to just pitch this left to Jahmyr Gibbs. He gets in, 2-yard TD. The run game is working for the Lions. Goff does have 2 interceptions on the day. This one a touchdown. Front of the end zone, low and away from the defender. What a throw by Goff. Amon-Ra St. Brown for the touchdown. Lions lead 14-10.
All right, Cowboys at the Panthers. Dak Prescott, 16-27, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. Here's the first one, a Luke Schoonmaker. Cowboys lead the Panthers 17-3 at half.
New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. New York Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito finds Darius Slayton down the field to the left, makes the defender miss, and takes it in for the 40-yard touchdown. Giants up 14-3. They lead 14-9 now.
Bill, I love that sexy voice.
Thank you, babe.
All right, here's a sexy combination right here. This is the best duo in the league, a little in-cut route from the left, and if it's working, just run it to the right side. Look at that space, and watch Tua throw in anticipation of Tyreek Hill. He snatches it, goes up and gets it. You have 3 guys, and you have another one coming from his left side, and he just runs on in with ease. And here, once again, just run it to the same side if it's working. Look how many guys are around Tyreek Hill. They know he's getting the ball. He still gets it. Running through tackler after tackler. You just run these plays until they stop it, and this is that combination. Tua, 19 for 21, 205. Tyreek Hill, 7 targets, 7 catches, 1 TD. He did go in at halftime with an apparent hand injury.
You want to talk about, combination, lethal combination. How about C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell?
Yes.
My goodness. C.J. Stroud, 18 of 24, 259 yards, 2 touchdown passes by the young rookie. And this one, Phil, you just did the highlight for it. The Tank Dell, 6 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. What a first half by this combination and this duo, and by this team led by a young coach. And there's nothing sexy about Phil Simms, but there's a lot sexy about C.J. Stroud and the way he is playing football, guys.
Look at those numbers the last 3 games. I mean, he's playing unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
He had an interception, but he's still 18 for 24, which means he throws a pick, calms himself down, goes to the sideline, reads the plays, and says, I'm going to bounce back. And on top of that, the run game is working. So now the DBs, they got to keep their eyes in the backfield, Coach.
And kudos to Devin Singletary. He has stepped in when Damian Pierce went out, and he's had 80 yards in the first half and given them something in the run game, taking the pressure off C.J. Stroud. They're right now, and they kind of got acclimated to Kyler Murray. He was running around fast in that first half. You got to get acclimated to that kind of speed.
I don't think you have to worry about taking the pressure off C.J. Stroud. It's an all-out assault by their passing game every single week. New plays, and Boomer, my voice, he said I didn't drink enough last night. I don't drink.
Folks, we're going to step aside for Verizon Halftime Report. That will continue after this.
It's feeling better now.
CBS Sports presents the Verizon Halftime Report. Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL.
11-point lead for the Houston Texans, but if you look at the numbers on the right side, they've kind of dominated a lot of different things, including the plays, including the passing yards, the total yards, and the time of possession, and also the third down conversions. Let's take a look at our first half highlight presented by State Farm. C.J. Stroud was under pressure. He wanted Tank Dell earlier, but then decided, I'll get him later. It was the longest pass play allowed this year by the Arizona Cardinals, and Tank Dell established a rookie record for touchdowns for the Texans. That was his 6th of the year, along with Jay Feely, James Lofton, Tiffany Blackman, and Gene Steratore. I'm Tom McCarthy. All right, Jay, give me an idea of what we saw from C.J. Stroud.
Efficiency, athleticism, anticipation, accuracy, the whole gamut. I mean, he made the one mistake on the interception, but other than that, James, he played excellent football.
He was better than advertised. So you can throw that in there. Was that 5 A's?
There you go.
Let's check in with Tiffany.
Hey guys, from the field level, I've been able to watch C.J. Stroud go through his progressions, and that's what I talked with Coach D'Amico Ryans about. He said what's working for him is the protection, that the O-line is giving him time. And time is what I talked with Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon about. He's concerned about what they are doing on third down. They have to be better because the Texans are 6 of 7 in third down efficiency. He said they've got to be better at not letting the Texans extend plays. They're getting beat with the ball thrown over their heads, guys.
You know, it's interesting. Those are 2 points that he talked about. Don't get beat with the ball going over our head. But he also said some stats he doesn't really matter to him unless they really jump out. And 6 of 7 jumps out on third down. Let's check in with Boomer with an update in New York.
All righty, Tom. Trevor Lawrence having quite the day. 18 of 25, 233 yards, and 2 TDs. This is the second one to Calvin Ridley for 20 yards. Jags are pouring it on 27-0 over the Titans. Back to you guys in Houston.
Well, let's take a look at Next Gen Stats powered by AWS, and it's C.J. Stroud in the air. His air yards, I should say.
I love that 10 to 19, 9 out of 13. The thing that, at the very bottom, 2 interceptions, short and intermediate right down there.
Moore had a little bit of a block on it. Here are these 3 interceptions, all very different.
This one he got confused on, didn't see the safety dropping, a bad interception. This one, just the deflection that we saw off Wood's hands. And then Hamilton jumping the route and making a nice play.
Not only jumping the route, but kind of throwing off his back foot, going back away from the presser, so he's not able to get a lot on that last throw.
Well, Coming up next, Game 2 of our NFL on CBS doubleheader shifts to an AFC East rivalry. And two teams determined to stay in the playoff hunt when the Jets head to Buffalo to take on the Bills. The NFL's on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Broken up! Broken up by Steven Nelson! Will Anderson was in the grill of Kyler Murray. And the Texans take over.
To get in Kyler Murray's face, to not allow him to step into the throw, makes the ball float just enough in the air. And when you're thinking about being aggressive, DeMeco Ryans is your coach, former middle linebacker. What does he love to do? Get after the quarterback, to hit people. So he allowed his defense to just put their claws out and go straight after Kyler Murray.
You saw Atlanta do it last week. They blitzed almost 50% of the time against Kyler Murray. We asked the Texans about it. They said they would blitz when they felt like it was the right situation, and there it was. And DeMeco Ryans is going to get a huge victory here, despite 3 interceptions from C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, you're breathing a sigh of relief if you're on the Texans sideline right now.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud took a knee. And yeah, the evolution of a young quarterback, there are going to be games where you have to overcome mistakes, and he had 3 interceptions